Don't be tempted to make a little tweak to your Amazon listing that could get your listing suppressed, suspended, or your whole account shut down. If that sounds like I'm being a fearmonger, you're right. And it's for a very good reason, because I want to make sure that you are positioned to make as much money as possible, which means that your listing needs to be live and visible to your customers. So if you want to know what mistakes to avoid to make sure that your listing isn't just dressed to impress, but is also following Amazon rules, then let's go ahead and get into things. Hello, my name is Emma Shermer-Tamir. I am the CEO and co-founder of Marketing by Emma. Since 2016, we've worked with over 1,500 businesses from all over the world, helping them find success on Amazon. So I know a thing or two about what Amazon likes and what they don't like. And unfortunately for us, anybody that's trying to navigate the world of Amazon selling, they are not always clear about what their rules mean, how to follow them, or, they might not even say what the rules are to begin with. So it's a little bit of cat and mouse trying to figure out what we can do to make sure that we keep them happy. But because we have so much experience, I have compiled together a list of some of the biggest mistakes that I see people making so that you can avoid making the same mistakes. But before we get into that, please, show a little love, like, subscribe, drop a comment below if you are into this kind of content, or if you would prefer to see something else. Let me know what kind of videos you would like to see next. So, what should you avoid if you are looking to have a squeaky clean listing that's going to be able to rank high, convert customers, and take your business to new heights? Number one, character limits. Character limits? What do you mean, Emma? Well, character limits won't necessarily get your listing in trouble, but they could cause you to perform very poorly, which as a result is going to tell Amazon that nobody's really interested in your product and you're not going to perform well. So this is sort of not really a no-no, but we consider it a no-no because it can definitely impact the performance of your listing. So what do I mean by character limits? I mean your bullets most specifically of all. Most categories allow up to 500 characters per bullet, which is too much. Bullets are meant to be short and sweet, skimmable, so that people can quickly and easily understand what your product is and determine if it's a good fit for them. That is why we've created bullets as humans. It's to be able to simplify a lot of information and make it quick and easy and accessible for people so that they do not have to put a lot of money into reading things. So make sure that you are keeping those at, I would say, no more than 200 characters per bullet to play it safe. Similarly, with your A+ content or your infographic text, keep it short and sweet. Make sure that you're not taking away from things. Always think about mobile accessibility. And now let's actually get into the no-nos. Do not use all caps. Amazon explicitly says not to use all caps in their terms of service, so you are going out of bounds by doing this. Now, back in the day, we used to encourage sellers to use all caps headers in their bullets. It was a very common practice, and then Amazon came out and explicitly said they do not want people doing this. The confusing thing about Amazon is that it is a reactive platform, which means that sometimes people might be getting away with things that technically break their rules, but they're only going to know about that if it is reported or if something randomly flags it. Now, that's not true for everything. Some things go through, a more exhaustive sort of initial perusing before they are actually published live to the site, but especially if something is a legacy product that's been there for a long time or what have you, then you will sometimes see listings that have lots of capitalizations, but Amazon says they don't want that. And I know from good authority that that is a cause for suppression or suspension. So why would you want to risk it just for some all caps headers? Instead, use a little dash to separate out the header from the rest of the bullet content. It has the exact same effect and you're not going to be risking anything. Number two, in the same sort of context of formatting, do not use any HTML in your listing except for some line breaks in your product description. Do I make myself clear? That means no bolding. That means no emojis. That means no italicizing. Amazon doesn't want it. They say they don't want it. Why are you going to mess with it? Now, you have other places that you can use stylized text, so you don't have to do it in the bullets and you don't have to do it in the product description. That's what we have A+ content for. That's what we have product images for. We have plenty of space that we can present things exactly as we want. So specifically in the bullets in the product description, play it safe, keep all that stuff out, and don't risk your account. FDA requirements. This is a little bit trickier. This goes beyond Amazon's rules and this also specifically applies to selling in the United States. There are other regulatory bodies that set the rules for different countries. So if you are selling in other countries, you want to make sure that you understand what those authorities say so that you are compliant with your language. The FDA monitors and sets rules on what you can and cannot say related to health claims. So this is going to apply to supplements. This is going to apply to beauty products. This is going to apply to certain types of food items or medical devices. So there are quite a wide range of different products that fall under the jurisdiction of the FDA and can be subject to infringing on what the FDA says you can and cannot do. And one of the main things that you need to be really careful about is you need to avoid suggesting and making any direct medical claims about this heals this. This is going to treat this if there is no scientific evidence to suggest that. Now, even when you do have actual studies that are demonstrating a certain benefit, you still have to be very careful and cautious with the language that you're using because the FDA is very strict about this for very good reasons. We don't want people being able to just go online and say that taking this magnesium is going to cure everything under the sun. That would lead people to making a lot of potentially dangerous choices. And so the FDA is here to try to minimize the likelihood of that happening. Now, this is a subject that is really big and broad, and I can't go into all the details of it. But if you are selling a product that falls into one of those categories, make sure that you are connecting with somebody that really understands that, and that anybody that is doing anything marketing related, be that your website, your social media, your emails, that all of that is compliant language. 4, restricted words. So now we're continuing in that scary pool of things that could trigger a pretty strong response from Amazon. And there are a lot of different restricted words, and they are not all the same across all categories. So there is a certain set of words that we started to become aware of. Oh gosh, I think this was back in 2018, a long time ago. All of a sudden, people were getting their listings suspended and locked because of words that were triggering pesticide-related topics. And these were products that had nothing to do with pesticides. These were things like hiking boots or plaster artwork and things like that. But they had a word here and there that could be associated with pesticides. And because the way that Amazon was managing trying to keep illegal pesticides off of their website was simply to put together a list of words that suggest that, and then have an algorithm that runs it and identifies any listing that is utilizing those words. And so words like mold, words like toxic, words like non-toxic, because non-toxic is within the word non-toxic. All of those were triggering this. So that's just a tiny portion of the restricted words. Then you get into things like avoiding greenwashing. So you can't just say something is recyclable if you don't have the paperwork to show that it's recyclable. You can't say that things are eco-friendly and whatnot, because those are also they're complicated. You can't have promotional language in your listing. So you can't say on sale, discount, buy now, add to cart, any of those things. So there's a lot of different things that you cannot say. We have internally a very long list that we run every single Amazon listing project against to make sure that we're not accidentally using any of that language. And then there are a lot of gray zone words that may be acceptable for certain types of products or categories. And so if we must use those, then we make it clear that this is something that you should get advanced approval for before adding into your listing so that you don't mistakenly upload something that's going to be problematic and create issues for your Amazon account. So be very careful. You can find a lot of those lists by sort of digging through Amazon terms of service, but they don't have them really clearly and streamlined. So it's also a lot of learning as you go and guesswork. If you have specific questions about those, please feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to give you some more information about that. You can find all of our contact details below. Something else that goes sort of side by side with the promotional language is guarantee and warranty. You have a separate section of your listing that you can specifically include any warranty information, but you should not be talking about either of these within the body of your bullets or your A+ content or anything like that. Again, you will see sellers doing this all the time, but just because you see somebody doing it does not mean that you can. And lastly, your main image. You want to make sure that your main image closely follows the image guidelines that are clearly listed within the terms of service. And all of these links I will include in the description box down below so that you can easily find those and make sure that you are following the rules. But Amazon is very clear about what they want to see in the main image. This will change a little bit based on your category. There are some exceptions if you're selling in different categories and what those can look like, but you really want to make sure that you are not stepping out of bounds with that because it's going to create problems for you. So those are some of the top things. There are different elements within different categories that have a bit more nuance. So if you are unsure about what you need to do to make sure that you are following the rules and setting yourself up for success, please feel free to reach out. Or if you're like, you know what, Emma, this is all stressful and overwhelming, we can help. I would be happy to connect with you and explore how we can help take some of this off your hands and take care of your Amazon listing optimization or copywriting needs. And with that said, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, let me know what video you want to see next, and I will see you soon. Bye.